Good evening and welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. I'm your host, Bob Pace, and it's a warm welcome that you come into my live stream. You found me on Facebook. There are 7 rooms that will connect you with the software application I'm using. It's called SteamYard, and it uses YouTube to broadcast a live stream around the world. Now, what I mean around the world is that anywhere there's internet, they will be able to pick up this live stream. And I do have a total of 25 countries that have been listening and participating with this live stream. They've texted me, they've also sent me messages, and they've even called in. These countries that have talked to me are Indonesia, Bangladesh, and India. Then up to the Middle East, it's Saudi Arabia and Iraq and Libya. Then over to the continent of Africa, it's Liberia and Sudan, Republic of Congo, Rwanda, and Mozambique. And then it's been South Africa and its provinces. Then up to Europe, it's the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, and Wales, and then Denmark and Sweden. Across the pond, it's been North America, Canada, and its provinces. Then the United States and all 50 states have either texted or called in. I've even heard from Washington, D.C. Then south of the border, we have Mexico. Then further south in Central America, we have Belize. And then in South America, north of Brazil, on the East Coast, has been Grenada. And then we go to the South Pacific. It's New Zealand and a land down under Australia. Good evening, and who do I have the pleasure of talking to?
Yes, sir. It's Michael Round.
Hey there, Michael. I knew you'd be calling me. I'm glad to hear from you.
I'm trying to catch up. I'm both on the. Okay, I paused the live stream so I could hear you.
Okay.
It wasn't catching up.
That was okay. That's okay. I just started about 3 minutes ago.
And I told you I had my consultation with my lawyer today that we were hiring.
All right. Now everybody should know that this is gentleman is Michael, and he's from Wisconsin, correct?
Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee. That's right. That's right. I'm sorry. You're from the southern part of Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Near the Alabama border.
So we called around to all the lawyers in the area, and everyone pointed me to this one lawyer. And they told me that it would be a $350 consultation fee. And so we paid $350 because everyone told us they would take payment. Well, I talked to them today on the phone. I went up and got all of my records from Wayne Pearl at the courthouse. Got all my records, provided them with my records, laid out, what exactly we wanted to do. We wanted to get the hearing changed from basically from a review to a hearing. We wanted to actually be able to present our evidence and bring about witnesses for our behalf because we're at the 12-month mark.
Okay.
Well, once I got on the phone with them and after I told them everything that was going on, he told me that it would be $3,500 and he needed half up front. I said, that's not what your office said when I first got in touch with him. That's not what everyone else has told me that this entire time. Why are they all telling me that I pay $350 and then a weekly payment? And you're telling me that you need $1,750 up front. That's not right. That's not, we couldn't even provide our son with all of his birthday presents last week because we paid the $350 because it was so important for us to get a lawyer.
Well, that fee he's quoting you, if you were in California, Vincent Davis would ask for $5,000 for a retainer and not half. He wants $5,000, and he's $500 an hour.
Right. That's what he called it, was a retainer.
How much is the hourly? How much is his hourly wage? How much is his hourly charge?
He said the $3,500 would be for 10 hours. So I'm not sure. Maybe I didn't do the math, but I really wasn't. As long as he was going to do payments with me. I mean, I'm on disability. My wife is the AGM at Taco Bell, so we're doing okay. So we are still paying child support to the state, but we're doing okay enough to where we could have done it in payments, and he wasn't having it. He said that because I explained to him what happened at the visit and how they were violating our son's First Amendment right to freedom of religion, that the foster parents don't go to church. They're two males, so they don't go to church. But if they don't go to church, it's up to the caseworkers. It's on them to make sure that they get a chance to go. To make sure that they have transportation.
Right.
This has been going on a year now. Every single visit we've had with them, we talked to the caseworker. Oh, I'm working on it. I'm going to do something about it. And I went an hour in early to the Omni office because they're in Omni Foster Homes. The Omni is an adoption agency, and I guess there's not enough foster homes around here. They use third-party adoption companies. I've never heard of this before this case was opened a year ago. I've never heard of Omni in my life. And I mean, I was in foster care. I grew up in foster care. But I guess they're a third-party adoption agency that also has foster parents. And I went in an hour early before the visit started, and I got the supervisor on the phone. She wasn't there, but our son's old caseworker, that was for the first 2 months of the case, he was involved on it. I got him talking, and I told him what's going on, and he said, and Natalie's not here, but I'll get her on the phone for you. So he put her on speakerphone, and he was like, Michael's here talking about his 2 sons, saying that we've been violating their right to practice their religion. And he said this has been going on since I was involved. And I guess Natalie contacted our girls with supervisors, the one who was supposed to supervise the visit. She also told me that their foster dad was allowing them to watch church on Zoom. So when the boys finally did get there, I just asked them, have you been going to church on Zoom? After the phone call had ended and the boys' old supervisor left the office, the boys finally showed up, and the girls, the supervisor told me that I couldn't ask them that was an adult conversation, that Natalie called her and told her not to let me ask them. So I was like, that's not an adult matter. That's a matter of religion and the right to go to church. Because they told me no, that he has never watched a Zoom church. He's never offered him that. And so it was a lie, and I called him in a lie, and because I called him in a lie, she got really uptight. She was like, you're not allowed to do that, Natalie done told me not to let you talk to them about that. And I said, Elizabeth, I was 14.
Well, this attorney that you got a quote from, it's a $350 an hour attorney for $3,500 retainer. And he's willing only to take half up front, which I thought he's very reasonable, is what I'm getting at.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
We're,
so,
we're trying to put
what was the
together about it.
negativity? What was you didn't like about him besides you thought it was too expensive?
No, I didn't think it was too expensive at all. I told him I'd be happy to pay that, but before I give him the $350, they told me it would be payments, that I wouldn't have to pay a large lump sum, that it would just be payments, you know?
Well, they don't usually do payments, to be honest with you.
Right,
And
right. No, I understand that, but that's why everyone else pointed me to them, saying that they'll take a payment. The lady even told me that the other $150 would go towards, future fees out of the 350.
okay,
But yeah, it really discouraged me because we're coming up on a really important court case. It's the 12-month mark court case, but it's at 13 months.
all right.
It is at 13 months, so we're getting really close to the 15-month mark.
Now, what's his
And
background?
we've
What's
done
his
everything
background?
that
Does he have experience in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law?
Yes, sir. He said 27 years.
He's been fighting CPS.
Yes, sir.
All right,
He
so
knew my judge's name personally. He knew the GAO personally.
so what does he think he can get your kids back?
How good that is.
Does he think he can get your kids back?
He knows how the system is here, and he says that with the judge and his reputation, he didn't know. He said he'd hate to take all of our money and we do everything that we were expected of, and something happened. I told him everything that had happened in the case. I sat down before me and my wife sat down a couple of days ago and wrote down everything that had happened. All of our interactions with Omni, all of our interactions with our old DCS worker. She was taken off our case because of the complaints we made against her, and I was telling him everything. I told him how the kids' GAO just got arrested for a DUI. Told him how the judge was also my juvenile judge, and he was the judge in our criminal case as well. That was just a conflict of interest, and he really didn't want to be. He couldn't make no promises, but he was like, "Y'all really have it stacked up against y'all," like. Because I told him, the judge sent me off 13 different times between the ages of 6 and the age of 17. He sent me personally off that many times. I wasn't shy with the lawyer. I told him everything that we had stacked against us. This judge knows me personally by name.
So what is this lawyer? Is he a trial lawyer?
He asked if anyone has asked him to renounce himself.
I meant, is he a trial lawyer? I ask you a question. Is he a trial lawyer?
I don't know. He just handles DCF cases. I'm not sure about that.
Well, I'm just trying to just tell you is that I think for the price you're quoted, I think you're in good shape. Now, what is preventing you from hiring this lawyer?
Just the time. Like, I have a meeting concerning something that happened at the visit. I have a meeting Monday, and we wanted to have him hired by Monday so he could represent me during the meeting.
And can you guys sign the document and give him the money?
It's $1,700 outright, and right now we just don't have that money. It was hard for us to come up with the $350.
I understand. Here's the problem. Typically, attorney does not take payments. And on that, he's willing to take half of his retainer. Now, most attorneys want the whole retainer paid up front. My attorney does too. He'll ask for 5,000, and he will not start in the case till he gets his 5,000. So, unless you got the 3,500, you can't hire him. Now,
we're doing everything we can.
is that the only attorney you? Is that the only attorney you come across that you found? I mean, there's got to be. You got to have at least 3 candidates to pick from. You have to have 3 to pick from.
Yes, sir. Everyone that we've called in this county, Hardin County, Tennessee, where we now live, everyone that we called pointed us to him.
Well, what's going to happen to this meeting? Now, this meeting is a 12-month review, right?
No, the actual meeting is over what happened before the visit and during the visit.
Was this your last visit, or what visit number was this?
Yes, it was the visit that we were having our son's birthday party, and they kicked me out during that visit. This is the only time we've ever had any problems. This is the very last visit I have until our court date, and it was right after this happened. Right after I let them know that the lawyer that I'm hiring was really interested in this First Amendment violation, and that they needed to get it corrected. So my wife dropped me off there, and like I said, we got there an hour early, but by the time the kids got there, it was like 10 minutes late, and my wife went and got the pizza and breadsticks, and we carried in the cake, the ice cream, the plate, the fork, and when we got in there, we had one present for him, and they all know that they get 7 presents for their birthday.
Well, you may not. I mean, I'm not trying to put down the the idea of having the present. It's just that you may not be able to do that all the time, and that's understandable, the situation you're in.
Right. So that's what I was trying to explain, and that's why I got kicked out. I told him that that we had to hire a lawyer, that we're coming up on the 12-month mark, and we have a very important hearing coming up, and they cut me off. And I was trying to explain to him that the reason, why we were buying the lawyer and the reason why we couldn't afford to get him all of his presents at that time. And they cut me off. They said, "You can't do that." I'm like, "Man, what can I say? What do you mean I can't say?" They're always making up new rules. I was like, "What do you mean I can't say that?" And she was like, "Just let it go. Just let it go." And I went to go walk off and play with kids, but I'm like, if I said something wrong, I need to know what I said wrong. So I come back and I'm like, "Is there any way one of y'all can come out and talk to me and let me know what I did wrong, so I won't let it happen again? I don't want no problem." And the one lady was like, "No, just let it go till after the visit." And I was okay with that. But the other one, the one that we've had so much problems with and have made complaints on, the one that's been violating my son's rights, the one that's under scrutiny for violating my son's rights, said no. She said, "No, I've had enough of this. Get out." And I'm like, "What do you mean get out? What did I do wrong? Like, you ain't even telling me what I'm doing wrong." And I was like, "Just call your supervisor. Let me talk to your supervisor. Let her tell me what I did wrong." And they never did tell me what I did wrong. They just pieced me out. So I ended up calling the police department, and the sergeant come up there. I explained to him what happened, and he even said, I asked him what his body cam was on. He said, "Yeah." He said, "This is clear retaliation. That they're an adoption agency, and that's a way for, if they being up on this, their parents, they get to adopt their kids out. We're 4 beautiful, loving children, amazing children."
Okay.
So they ended up having the visit. I sat out in the car, and so
Yeah, yeah, you
So
did tell me that.
I called my pastor. And he prayed with me. And after he prayed with me, I looked up the rule. And the rule I wrote was, and this wasn't one of their rules, this was just in general, is discussing the case. But discussing the case is the reason what they meant by that. I was like, what exactly do they mean by discussing the case? And that was like coercing the child or coaching the child.
Okay.
That's not what I did. That's not, in no way. That's not what I did. And so the entire visit, my wife said they sat over in their little corner and they talked badly about me. Some of the things that they were saying were things like, I messaged her a few times. I sent her the rules for parents and the rules for her, and as a supervisor. And I said, I didn't break the rules. You did. Well, she had said in front of the kids and my wife that if I messaged her again on her work phone, mind you, on her work phone, she was going to get me for harassment. And my kids was already boiling. Before I walked out, all of them were crying. And what did Daddy do? They couldn't understand either what I did. And they were just making me leave. They ended up. She spent 15, 20 minutes after I went outside, and they opened up the outside door. They were going to run the back room, and there was a door that they had crossed open directly to the outside. Now, if they felt safe enough to cross that door on the outside so that I could just, do you think at any time they wanted to, or they felt in danger or scared?
Right. Right. I want to focus. I want to focus on getting your attorney. So right now, as your attorney said, unless you come up with 1,700, he won't represent you.
Yes, sir.
Well, we got to forget about him. Now, what about the two other attorneys? What are the other story on the two other attorneys? I want you to get 3 quotes. So how about the other 2 attorneys?
I haven't been able to get any other quotes. Everyone in this county has sent me to this attorney saying that they would take payment.
Yeah, but there's got to be other attorneys.
The reason why I'm having that meeting on Monday is because they kicked me out that I broke the rules. But then after the visit, my wife, at about 3 minutes to the end of the visit, my wife was finally heard enough of them talking and told them that they kicked me out, that I was talking negatively, but the entire visit, right in front of my kids, they were talking back and forth badly about me. She was like, that's not right. And they ended up calling the cops and at the very end and said that we had to leave before they brought the kids out, that they were in fear. They ended up calling the foster mom and foster dad and telling them to not stop for nobody, just go home. I mean, and in the messages I sent, they weren't rude in any way. I've never been anything but nice and respectful to these ladies. They're trying to twist it I'm I did something severely wrong, and they had to call the police to get us escorted off the property so that they could bring the kids out. I even messaged my wife while she was in there and said, are they going to allow me to give the kids a hug and tell them that I love them? And if not, I'll just give them the I love you sign. We do the I love you sign until the kids can't see us any longer.
Yeah.
While they're falling off, we always do the I love you sign. I wouldn't, if they would have said no, and she would have asked them, and they would have said no, I wouldn't have approached my kids. This was my very last visit before the biggest court date we can have in this case, a hearing. I wasn't trying to do anything wrong. You see what I mean by that? The fact that was my very last visit before our most important court date. Mind you, we've done everything on our permanency plan, passed all the drug screens, done everything these people have asked.
We need to get you an attorney. Now, this attorney that gave you the quote, all stuff, he's not work out. But you need to find two other attorneys. So you're telling me, how about the next city over? You check the next city over?
I mean, I will. I paid this guy thinking that he is already on my case. When I did the constellation, I thought when I paid him that money, like the lady told me, the secretary told me, $150 of that money was supposed to be going for the first payment. So I haven't really had a chance. I literally I just got off the phone with the lawyer literally like 2 hours ago. And so I've been waiting for the chance to talk to you about it.
Well, here's the predicament that you're in. The quote that you're getting are very reasonable because in California, you would be paying a lot more in California.
My wife is trying to do something, but I don't want to say anything on it over here. I don't want any of the viewers to think I'm trying to. My wife set up something online for us to try to help them. So we're doing our best. We're gonna come up with that money one way or another, regardless of how long it takes. We will have that money before December. We're gonna do whatever it takes, you know. I mean, I'm on disability. I have grand mal seizures and a heart condition called WCW. So I don't make a lot of money, but my wife just got promoted to AGM today at her job.
Well, I don't know. Today is Friday. I don't know how much more time you have left in the day to get two other candidates. So at least talk to three people. You should always get three quotes. Everything should be in three quotes.
Yes, sir. I never heard that before. I didn't know that.
Well,
yeah,
no. I mean, that is actually a business decision on my part. I work in civil engineering. If I want a quote on some rock material or a quote on some piping like storm drain pipe, or I want a quote on landscaping, I always get three quotes. If I go out to buy a TV for my own home, I'll get three quotes from three televisions. If I buy a car, I'll get three quotes on three different cars. I've always had this rule all my life that I get three of anything to make sure the price is valid. So what? So that's the thing I've been doing in my 40 some years working in civil engineering. So I always, no matter what field I'm in, it gets done in three. So I would work hard to get two other quotes, and then I'd pick from those three which ones I want to go with. Now, the guy that you're talking to is very reasonable because he could ask for his whole retainer of $3,500 right up front, but he says he only wants half. So I know that's half is lousy money. I mean, I know what it is about money. Believe me, I do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm sorry that this is a real obstacle for you because in order to beat these clowns in Tennessee, you're going to have to be better than they are, and you need to get a real attorney, somebody that knows what they're doing. Because fighting CPS, I told my listeners out there, is like open heart surgery. It's like open heart surgery, if you know what I mean. It is really very difficult, this open heart surgery.
Or like the surgery they did on me for WCW. They went in with a cat splitter, in my leg, and went up in my heart. But after they did it, they told me I'd be at a 55% chance of developing cancer on my heart. But if I didn't do it, I'd die.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to call you and talk to you a little more about what's been going on and last night that I was talking with my lawyer, and I was under the impression I already hired him, and so I was excited about that. But then I got let down. But at the same time, I mean, like I said, it might take us a few days, but we're gonna do everything we gotta do to come up with money one way or another.
Right. So have you tried other cities near the city? I mean, have you tried that yet?
No, but I'm going to. I am going to.
Good.
I'll start Monday. I mean, I might not have no one to represent me during that meeting. That's my thing right now.
Well, are you pro se or do you have a appointed attorney? Are you pro se or do you have a court appointed attorney?
I had a court appointed attorney, but when I made a complaint on him for failing to make all of them, like any of the motions I asked him to make, he dropped me. He used the GAL to drop me. So as of the 16th of last month, I have no attorney.
So does the judge know that you're doing it pro se?
The judge is the one who signed off on it.
Well, then he knows you're pro se. Now, you know what you can do as pro se, don't you?
No, sir.
Okay, this is what you can do if you're pro se. You get to talk in the court. You get to present evidence, you get to cross-examine, and you get to, plead your case. Now, I don't know how good of you are an attorney or good as a fighter, but you have to look at what you got going on Monday. What is you got going on Monday? So see if I can help you. What is this Monday going to do? Is it a hearing? Is it a trial? What is it?
It's okay, because they kicked me out of the visit, we have to have a meeting. Everyone involved has to have a meeting about what happened at the visit.
All right. So is the meeting, so what are you being accused of? What did you do wrong at the meeting? What did you do wrong at the meeting? You discussed the case, right?
That's what they said, yes, sir.
All right. What you do when you go before the judge, you could say, and it is honesty that, pardon? Oh, this is just a meeting. This is not a court action. This is a meeting with social services. Right. What you tell social services, you tell social services. Now, what's Amiga do? Is replacing you, or that you won't have visitations anymore? What is the goal for CPS at the hearing?
The only thing that I can think of with this, I'm at the bare minimum right now. 4 hours a month. They actually moved my wife up to 8 hours a month, but left me at 4 hours a month. I was actually supposed to have my stand your ground trial today. I told you that, and I forgot to. I didn't find out till last night that stand your ground trial in Alabama was canceled and put off till the 9th. So I won't have those charges dropped before December the 3rd when we go back to court for this case.
Well, do you know that Erin is in the room right now, and she's from Tennessee, and she wants to help you?
Yes, I tried to click on the link where her name was, but it didn't give her last name. So I have a Facebook. It's me kissing my wife's cheek at the park on a visit with our kids. It's not anything inappropriate or anything like that. But my Facebook name is Michael Ryland, Ryland, and Michael is spelled with an Michael. Some of them say E-A-L. Mine's A-E-L.
All right.
Please send me a message. Would we ask her to please send me a message?
I'm doing it right now. I'm telling Erin, contact. Hold on. Michael, Michael. Last name?
Ryland. Ryland.
MD or AD?
RYLAND. RYLAND.
N as in Nancy?
Yes, sir.
All right. I have Aaron contact Marilyn on Facebook. Okay.
Or Messenger as well. That's good, sir.
Or Messenger. Okay. So I'm going to put that in. It's going to show up to all my rooms. I have 9 rooms.
Thank you so much. Really, I mean, just talking about it, like calling you and talking to you about this case, the more people that know about what's going on and the corruption that's going on in this case, the better chance I have of winning. You know, it can't go on being forever. And I was actually going to wait until after you give me the Doji, I think it's. You give me
Doge. Doge, yeah.
And Doji, yeah.
It's not Doji, it's Doge. It's okay, it's not Doji, it's Doge. It's the Department of Government Efficiency. Right, okay. By the way, I have that up right now. I have the Department of Government Efficiency up on my page as a banner.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm saying is I'm contacting them Monday and explaining to them what's been going on, how they prevented us from getting our kids back. They can't. I mean, I say that, and I really do believe this. They can't stop me from getting my kids back, but they can prevent me from getting my kids back. They can prolong it.
Yeah. Well,
I told my wife, we're on the path of righteousness. We're doing everything right. We're going to continue to do everything right, and that they can't stop me from it. But then I get online and I hear stories about all kinds of people saying that they did everything right in the permanency plan. They passed all the drug screening, and the 15-month mark comes around, they still adopted their kids out. Like, I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know that.
Well, okay. Here's the game plan. Erin's going to contact you and try to help you. I've given her the information, so Erin should be able to contact you on Facebook or Messenger. Now, you're going to try to find 2 more other attorneys on Monday. And by the way, those attorneys sometimes are open on Saturdays, so don't forget to try Saturday. Meanwhile, you're going to have to fight this pro se. So you're going to have to have this meeting, and what you want to do is spend some time on the internet and if you look at the word mistake on visitation, discussing the court case with the children. Can you look that up?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna look it up here too. I'm sorry. I'm gonna look it up with you. Okay.
God bless you, man. I really appreciate you doing this for me.
Well,
I mean, just talking to me about it, being able to open up and put my story out there, it helps.
it's okay. That's what I want to do. I want to help you. So I'm looking up Tennessee CPS, and I'm looking at how I'm going to put down meeting to discuss visitation about talking to the children about the case. Let's see what it says here on the internet. And this is something you should be able to do too.
I was like, let me find out. You know, did I break the rules? Did I break the rules? And when I said exactly what I said, it said discussing the case. That's what it considered it as. And but
anyway, let me tell you what I found out. Let me tell you what I found out. Just listen, okay? It says Tennessee CPS Child Protection Service meeting about visitation and talking to the children will focus on the child's safety and well-being, potentially including discussions on the child's relationship with each parent and their feelings about any new arrangements. The agency's goal is to ensure a safe environment for the children, which involves meeting with them, their parents, and other involved parties. The meeting specifics will depend on the case, but topics would include the children's emotional state, the living situation, any factors influencing visitation schedule. Now, before this meeting, you want to gather information, make notes of important things that show you care for the child, such as their activities, immunizations, and likes and dislikes. Okay, can you do that? I'm helping you prepare this weekend. Yeah, you're going. Okay. All right, good. We made a connection with Aaron in Tennessee. Okay, you're going to gather the information tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. And you want to gather information, you want to make notes that show you care for the child. You need to show at this meeting that you care for the child. And the first thing you want to start off is that I did not know that I cannot discuss the case with my children. I was wrong. I will not do it again. So you need to tell them at that meeting, all right? All right. Then you're going to have to then you're going to have to talk about how such activities you have and that your shot records are up to date with your children. If you have a shot cards, you bring it with them. Bring it with you and show them their shots are up to date. And then their likes and dislikes. What things does your children like? What things do they dislike?
See, the kids won't be at the meeting. This meeting is strictly to like this. Like I told you, they told the cops to have us leave. As soon as the visit was over, they had the cops there waiting so that the cops would make us leave. Like what they're doing, what this meeting is for, is to try to terminate my visit.
Yeah, I understand.
Like, this is a disciplinary meeting. This isn't a meeting, you know, to up my visit. This is definitely to try to punish me for my wrongdoing, and they're
Well, what you got to do is you got to diffuse what had happened with the situation. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Tell the truth. I mean, I didn't know. I had to, like, I called the cops on them. Like, they were violating my rights. I didn't know. I honestly did not know I did anything wrong. I said anything wrong. And it took me a while to figure out, because I was like, what exactly did I say? I said, I hired a lawyer because we have a very important court date coming up. And that's what I said to the AI, lawyer AI. And it said that discussing the case. But and I was like, okay, so what about discussing the case is wrong or a problem? And it talks about like stressing the kids out or coaching the kids.
Right.
And that's not what I was doing at all.
Now, have you told them that you will ensure that your living space is clean and suitable for your child? Have you told them that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Know that we have
okay, you need to. I'm trying to say this is before the meeting. You have to prepare your home so that you ensure your living space is clean and suitable for your children. Okay. The third thing.
Yes, sir.
The third thing is be polite and cooperative. Offer the CPS worker a drink. Be respectful and everything else there. I mean, you're going to have to smooze the social worker. So offer them a drink or something. Is this meeting taking place at their office?
No, sir. It's going to be online.
Okay. Well, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to give them a drink there online. But anyway, you can certainly talk to them, be apologetic and things. Now, this is what's going to happen during the meeting. This is what's going to happen. The meeting is likely going to be a child and family team.
Yes.
A process involves the family in the decision making about the child care. Okay. Topics of discussion. The conversation will likely cover the child's safety and emotional state. This may include their experiences, feelings about the current situations, and the relationship with each parent. Now, the CPS may want to speak with the children. You said the children are not going to be there, right?
Oh, they won't be there. They
Okay.
won't allow them to be.
Are the children old enough to talk?
My Elizabeth, our oldest is 14. Our next is 13, and then 9 and 8.
Okay, so they're all able to talk. Okay, and so the CPS may talk to them alone. Anyway, other considerations. It's going to be the child's well-being. Focus on the child's need. If the face-to visits are not possible, discussion will likely include other forms of contact and phone calls or letters. Now, you have your constitutional rights, your civil rights. You can express your feelings, but remember that CPS has the authority to speak with your children if they believe it's necessary for the child's safety, according to the legal helpline. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So that does help you a little bit getting prepared for that meeting on Monday. I'm trying to help you as pro se. So you got to be a good listener there. You don't want to argue with them. You want to do what they ask you because you don't have an attorney representing you. Remember, you're pro se.
Right. Yes, sir.
And you listen to what they have to say. So you can tell them that you're following the court orders. Now, what are the court orders at the moment right now? What are the court orders?
You mean like permanency plan?
Well, what is the court?
court
What has the
orders
court
that
told you to do? Will they tell you to take classes? Are you taking classes?
Yes, sir. We finished all the classes.
Okay.
We completely.
You need to tell them that. You tell them that you completed all your classes. Now, what about programs? Are there any programs you have to do?
The very last one, after we made a complaint on our DCS worker, she was actually the acting. She's not the supervisor because the supervisor left, but she had to step up and be the acting supervisor for the district or her county. And she sent somebody 2 weeks after we made a complaint through Nashville. She sent somebody to deem our home unfit. And I videoed the whole. I felt really weird. Like, why did she send this woman to our house? And she was being really rude to us. So I started videoing. And right before she left, I asked her, "Do you have any concerns with our home?" She said, "My personal home." I said, "No, ma'am." I said, "Your professional opinion, whether or not our home is fit for our children to come home to." And she said, "Everything needs to be covered." I said, "Ma'am, everything electrical has been covered." I made sure of that in the very beginning as soon as we moved them here. And she pointed at a vent about 6 inches from our ceiling, which is a central heat and air vent that don't have a vent cover on it. I said, "Ma'am, that's not a danger to our children." And she was like, "I know." And that's all she said. She was like, "Well, it's time for us to go. We need to get out of here." Well, then she went back to the office and made a big, long report saying, like, we had a bug, saying that she felt like she was going to fall through the floor in multiple different places. She said that we review, we found out that she had wrote like a really long the DCS worker that our DCS worker sent here wrote a really long bad review about us. And I was like, I gave her the opportunity to tell me whether or not our home was fit, or if we needed to, do it as the door, and what we needed to do to make it suitable, if it wasn't suitable already. And she said that I told her, because when she said that this needed covered up, I said, love, come here. She's trying to say our home ain't unfit. Her and the lady that she was training with us said, no, I never said that. I never said your home wasn't unfit. But then go home or go to the office and write a big long like that. Like during the meeting, they wouldn't even go to. I had the Tennessee Department of Youth and Child Health on there. I got them as an advocate to get them during the meeting with me to make like thinking that because other eyes were watching, they would do the job and do it right. Well, they wouldn't read out what her review said for me until he finally opened up and said, I think Mr. Wyland has a right to know what this woman said about his home. And when they started reading it off, when they said, the first thing they said was like, oh. Well, when they said that, I was online, so I went around the entire corners of the house and the ceiling area and showed that there was no bugs. If we had it's one thing, it's like we're in an apartment complex in the city, so regardless if we bomb every month or not, our neighbors could have roaches, and every now and then we do see a roach. I kill it instantly, but we do see a roach every now and then. So they have to home night classes. We have our next home night class this Saturday, which is tomorrow, and we get our certification for it.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're doing okay. It's just that you need a real attorney, though, to get this off your back. That's part of the problem there.
Yes, sir, exactly. So when I called the complaint department the second time and made a complaint that she sent this woman here with the sole reason to deem our home unfit, and I told her that I knew that, and that's why I got my phone out and reported her. And then before she left, asked her what needed to be done, if anything, and she didn't tell us anything but that this needed to be covered. That when I offered Nashville that proof, the woman said she didn't need it. I was like, the proof of her leaving here after saying, she never said our home was unfit, and then went back to her office and wrote a big long report on how she felt like she was falling through the floors and how we had bugs. She didn't say an infestation because there wasn't one, but I mean, I wish that I knew somebody I could send this. And I talked to a lady at the Nashville, I can't remember exactly what it's called, the complaint department.
Mm-hmm.
And when she wouldn't take the video. I offered her the video. I was like, I got the evidence that she was really, really rude to us when she got here, so I wanted to report her. And when I did report her, as she was leaving, I asked her if there was any concern, and she basically said no. So she did point out the air vent, but when I said it wasn't a danger to her and to her children, she said, yeah, I know. But then left and wrote a big long bad report, That's clear and cut evidence that she was sent here to deem our home unfit, regardless of what she said. And the house was clean, too.
Yeah, this is sad. This is really sad, but you need to point those things out to them at that upcoming meeting on Monday. You need to point that out to them.
See, that's the problem. I was going to the lady that supervises the boys is the one that's been violating the boys' right to freedom of religion. ones that's been making up like rules on the fly, like saying I can't ask my son uh, to if they're going to church or not, or saying that my son can't play on the phone. And I asked, like when she said that, it was an hour. We were an hour into one of the visits, and my son was playing on the phone with me right there. He's playing a Pokemon game. And she was like, Ray, you want to get off the phone and play for an hour? And I said, ma'am, is it against the rules for him to be on the phone? And she said, no. I was like, well, then with all due respect, if it's not against the rules, I'm here with him. I don't mind if he's playing on it. And she took offense to it and went to our DCS worker, and our DCS worker said that she agreed with her that it was that he should be playing with us rather than playing on a phone. So now they're not allowed to play on a phone. Like making up rules on the fly. I was going to point that out. I was going to point out that she's always talking on her phone. She's not supposed to. It's against the rules. She's supposed to pay attention to what's being said. I was going to point out that the other case worker, the other Omni worker, when we went to the park, we told her this kid wanted to go for a walk, and she was like, "Go ahead, there's nothing to worry about." And she sat over at the like the dining area where the park has like has picnic tables and stuff. She sat there and let us walk like 300 yards away to go look at the train in Columbia, Tennessee. Like they had little trains that used to have little railroad tracks and trains. So we walked all over there. We're 300 yards away from her, and she was perfectly okay with that, you know. But I mean, that's breaking the rules. Like,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I wanted to point out all the rules that they were breaking, but I don't think that's going to help me in any way. I think the only thing that's going to help me is if I go in there and I'm like, look, I found out after the visit that I wasn't supposed to talk about the case. So I am sorry. I wasn't trying to force my children in any way. I wasn't trying to coach my children in any way. I just wanted to tell my son why we couldn't get him all of his presents.
Okay. I don't mean to cut this short, but I ran out of time again. I've talked to you another hour here, which is all right. I'm glad you called in here, Matthew, because I do want to help you out of Tennessee. Now that we've made contact with you and Aaron, so maybe that will come more favorable to you. But you need to work this weekend on getting prepared for this upcoming meeting with CPS. So you need to do that.
Yes.
Do not give up. Keep fighting for your kids.
Yes, sir.
And also, I want to thank you again for calling in. Now, I'll be on again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. in the morning and at 7 p.m. at night. Tomorrow, that's Pacific Standard Time.
Well, 7 p.m. tomorrow night. What time is that for me?
7 to 10. That's 10 to 11, 12 o'clock your time. Wait, 7 to 8,
Okay,
8 to 9. You're 2 hours ahead of me. I forgot. 7 to 8, 8 to 9. You're 9 a.m. So 9 p.m. So 9 p.m. tomorrow night or 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Okay, well, I don't know. Do you want? I mean, I still have things to talk about, but I think
It's fine. No, it's fine. You can go in there. I just need to wrap up this meeting here. Now, I have Mr. My plaque. She's Cindy from New York City. Welcome. And she had a question. I have a deposition hearing for termination of parental rights on December 1st. I signed a lease and we're moving in. I have a job in place. Okay, I want to talk to you more, my page. Can you call in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time? I'll help you out, Paige. Okay, I hope you out. She's Cindy from New York City. Then we have Zoom. Hi, Zoom. I'm running out of time. I can talk to you tomorrow. I know you have a meeting come up. And Nicole Adder, I can't understand him. Well, he's just talking about his case. He has a meeting with CPS about his visitation. And so I help prepare that. Nicole Adder, what is your location or what is your case about CPS? And unto greatness, It's good to talk to you. It sounds like, boy, you're from somewhere. I don't know where you're from, uh, Untold Greatness, but welcome. And Zoom Zoom is wants to talk too. Um, Nicole Outer, I don't know where you're from, but please try to tell me your location. And Untold Greatness says CPS needs to provide this family with a referral to the Family Resource Center so they access service supports. So you need to get a referral from the CPS to help you with your resources. Now, Nancy O'Keefe Pastor says CPS are liars and the AFC and CPS work together are all in corrupt. I understand that. That's nothing new news there, Nancy. We'd like to hear more about your case. We have to hear more about it. Untold Greatness has a federal lawsuit telling the states to do their job. Okay. I pretty much talked to everybody in this room here. Again, I want to thank Aaron from Tennessee, Untold Greatness, Pat Torres. Untold Greatness is from Boston, Massachusetts. So I'm glad that you joined this room and be able to discuss things. Aaron from Tennessee, thank you. Mark from Tennessee, I want to thank you, who I'm talking to on the phone. And Nancy O'Keefe. Michael, I keep calling him Mike. It's Michael. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And Nicole Adder.
Yes,
Zoom,
God
Zoom.
bless you.
Well, God bless you all of you tonight. Thank you so much, but I do have to go. It's after 5 o'clock. My time's up. So God bless you. Do not stop fighting for your children. You need to keep fighting. If you're discouraged, come and see me, and I hope you talk out of there. Follow my 5 rules, and again, I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. on Saturday. 8 a.m. God bless you all, and there'll be a short video after I leave. And so, good night, and thank you again. Bye.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted, and if you go against then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last ones left.